Waiting on umpire Ron Bucky to get proceedings underway. Ian Miller leads the way with kicks at the moment with 13. Otway has 12 and Robert Wiley 11. Bounced down in the centre by umpire Bucky. Up they go. Duke gets it. Wiley, Miller. Nobody can clear it out of the centre, and I'd say that umpire Bucky will serve up a repeat performance. Remember that the half-time score, East Perth 6-6-42 in front of Perth, who are 5-2-32, 10-point margin to the Royals, and I'm sure that all Royal supporters hope that they can hang on to it. Interference has taken place there to Curry, and Curry midway between the centre and right centre wing to put Perth into attack. And
at the half-forward line, Farron's got the set, but it's been punched away by Wyn Rossbender, who's caught. Gee, the tackling's intense. Gibellini with a chance. There was a lead on to Wiley, but he was held without possession. And so Gary Gibellini, who starred in the first half for Perth, takes the free. 65 metres out from goal. Number 14 is a very quick lead on to Curry, who's drifted down. And all they've done, they haven't gained in distance but straightened up. And now zigzagging as though Yachtsman. He looks for Wiley, punched away by the defender, picked up by Wyn Rossbender to Mitsopoulos, back where they started from as Perth. Curry now has a chance to redeem that last error. He's still at centre half forward. He's running backwards, steadies, sights up the big sticks, and Robertson under the pack has attempted to take a good mark. Curtis breaking out. Geez, had class today. Comes out to the Duggan versus Inman area. 2-1 puts Perth with a chance. It's Wyn Rossbender who breaks over the half-forward line. Dot punt on its way, falling short. Pack of players in the goal square. And Wayne Duke forces the one solitary point through for the Demons.
Well, Perth obviously realise that they have the job in front of them because East Perth have their tails in the air. And Perth wasting no time in getting into attack early in this third quarter. Robertson to take the kick in, and it's a beauty too, almost up to the right centre wing. The only person who went up has got the mark, and that, of course, was Jeff Watt. Everybody stood down and let him go. Watt to put the ball back into attack. Wobbly sort of a punt kick up towards the edge of the square. Farrand in front, that's dangerous, but thumped away by Hayes. Comes out towards Walsh. Walsh to clear up towards the right half-back flank. Kickett uses his body well, but Watt is equal to the occasion. He thumps it further afield. And Perth, in their endeavours to work the ball forward, have carried it out of bounds.
Yes, there'll be a throw-in on the left half-forward flank. Chester McKeon's number 19 for Perth. 27 is Wayne Duke, and watch number 6, Miller. But it's Watt who's come into his own in this quarter trying to break through. Otway going for the ball, and he's caught without possession. And both the umpires, Ross Capes and Ron Bucky, have paid this law all day. Into the wing position. Maguire unattended has taken the mark right in front of the time clock, which shows that we've had 3 minutes going in the third quarter. East Perth 6-6, leading Perth 5-3 as the ball comes out to the scoreboard win. Good mark out there by Kelly.
He's playing well too as Kelly puts the ball in the centre half forward. Up goes Mick Ray, and hugging the ball to his big chest. Determination written all over his face. Mick Ray certainly at this stage anyway a thorn in the side of the Perth defence. Ray, torpedo punt kick is long, right up towards the Arnold area. He jostles, can't mark. Players pack up. Number 5 there is Gary Bowyer for Perth. Umpire Cape's whistle is gone, and when you see the number of players getting up from the ground, it's easy to understand why. Bounce down, deep into East Perth's attacking zone.
Yeah, McKeon gets the knock. Fotheringham pushes the ball through or shovels it through for a point. So East Perth go to 6-7. Perth are 5-3. And only 4.5 minutes have gone in the opening quarter. It was the most uncharacteristic style in the second quarter. The Perth backline crumbled to the tenacity and the forcefulness of the East Perth attack. Dickinson in front that time. He had a classy first quarter, never made an error, and had a pretty good second quarter too. But the Dickinson kick goes up the scoreboard flank. Rossbender's being shoveled out of the way, but great mark, John Maguire.
Maguire to put East Perth into attack just forward of left centre wing, going in short to the lead there of Wayne Otway, and he with courage stands his ground as Dickinson was charging in on him, and he's taken the mark on the right half forward flank. East Perth doing it well at the moment as Otway's kick goes in towards the Arnold area, and there's the big fellow in front of the pack. He's been trying to do it all day. The ball has dried out enough. Perth couldn't spoil as they have been doing for most of the day. And Paul Arnold already with 2 goals to his name, coming in for number 3. He'd be about 35 to 40 metres out. The direction or the distance shouldn't worry him. The direction will be the thing that'll matter. There goes the Arnold kick. The non-reaction from the East Perth supporters behind the goals tells the story.
Yes, and Fotheringham, the ex-Colgarin farmer, will kick in. He replaced Quartermain, and what a disaster it was for Perth when Quartermain couldn't take the field, and there he is, the little champion. Why do they call Cable a champion, you ask? Well, a champion is a player who has consistent performances over a number of years. High-class performances, that is. And Barry Cable, number 9 on your screen, who turned 35 only yesterday and has 386 league games to his credit, is only 40 metres out from goal. Let's wait on this champion left-footed player. Cable's kick. Not going to make the distance. Packer players thump the ball away. While he's in there, Mick Ray sees the lead to Duggan. Oh, bad luck, Rod Duggan. Bundled out of the way by Cook, but it's on the back. And so Rodney Duggan will get a gift-free kick, 15 metres out from goal and virtually directly in front. There he is on your screen. A 22-year-old truck driver from Margaret River. Taking plenty of time. Up go the socks. On comes the concentration, and through goes the ball.
Well, East Perth are going away from Perth at this stage of the game, and Perth, as you said, Arthur, aren't playing their normal characteristic role. Their backs, as you saw in that passage, were loose and gave away a silly free kick in front of goals, which is uncharacteristic for the Perth defenders. They don't seem to be playing with any cohesion. They don't seem to have any pattern of play at all. They seem to be relying, or tending too much to rely on individual performances. Gibellini's trying to do it a bit too much, I feel. Wiley hasn't been a dominant factor in the game. And all these things are contributing to an East Perth gradual taking control of this game from Perth.
If you look at the score statistics on the scoreboard, East Perth have had 15 shots to Perth's 8. So it shows you that East Perth have just about had twice the number of shots. 7-8-50 to Perth 5-3-33. Wayne Duke, another thump. Wiley, who's been a quiet player, oh goodness me, hit hard again by Allen, and Robert Wiley getting up very, very slowly from that one. Gibellini trying to put the ball up towards half forward. McCalchek reads it well. It's smothered well by Inman, however. He bursts through, is caught by Hamilton, tries to get his kicker towards half forward, but look at East Perth. Oh, they have their tails in the air for sure and certain. Kick it. A great hand pass out to Hamilton. Pick it up, son. He's sunk for his trouble as a hand pass comes from Inman out to Wiley. Wiley out towards right centre wing. A pace on here between McKeon and Miller. Miller was sunk. McKeon was pushed by Miller. And now the kick from McKeon has been smothered by McCalchek. And I didn't think he went over the mark then, quite frankly.
Well, Ross Capes did, and the 15-metre penalty has been taken by Chester McKeon, so he gets a second chance. Half-forward flank goes the ball in favour of Perth. Look at Miller reading it off hands. Quickly chips it back to McCalchek, but it's a misdirected kick. And although Wyn Rossbender, all 6'3" of him, was trying desperately to get that ball, it's beaten him over the line. Well, we've got Chester McKeon rucking, and not rucking as forcefully as Wyn Rossbender there. There he goes, dive, scoops it out to Wiley as good football in the centre half forward. Hargrave in front, all over Stephen Hargrave. A play on as Bryant shows what class is. Gives it to Maguire. Maguire now half-back flank, has a paddock to run to if he wants to. He certainly does. That's one bounce. Goes for the lead. Oh, slippery ball, but he gets it to Curtis, who's come right down from the back pocket to the scoreboard wing. But the greasy conditions of Subiaco Oval, as you can see, caused the malfunction and the ball handling there on the outer wing.
I reckon Stephen Curtis would cover as much ground out of a back pocket as almost a rover does in the course of a game.
And isn't he creative?
Oh, is he ever. East Perth 7-8-50, Perth 5-3-33. Ball in towards the centre to Gibellini. He can't take the mark. Coming across there is Hargrave. Hargrave's kick out towards Robert Wiley, who doesn't appear to be running as free as he could. He'll get around McCalchek, though, I would feel, but is well caught by George McCalchek. Great play, son, as McCalchek robs Wiley of the ball, puts it up towards Duggan. There's a duel between Duggan and Inman. Inman with desperation written all over his shoulders, or all over his face, I should say, as he goes in for the ball. Duggan, it was all over his shoulders, and umpire Bucky to bounce.
Yes, the number 4 is Ken Inman, the captain of the Perth side, and he's trying to get his team underway. Tapped by McKeon. It's been sharked by Kickett again, the brilliant centre man. Over the Duke. Duke thumps the ball, and McKeon has a second chance to redeem himself. He does. Pushes it out. Walsh, well played. Walsh on the half-back flank to Wattway, and now to Cable. Let's watch this little master handle the ball. He sees the chip on out to Hamilton or Duggan. Take your pick. Back to Cable on the members' wing, and now it's over there to Hamilton, one of the fittest players in the game. Looking for Arnold at centre half forward, full forward, punched away, and this is Clint Roberts backing up for Perth.
Roberts' hand pass has been taken by Fotheringham. Fotheringham clears. Cool kick out towards Inman. He can't control it. Now he does. Caught by Cable. Fotheringham there again. Mick Ray comes in from behind. And the boundary line is the eventual winner. 7-8-50 to East Perth. Perth 5-3-33. 10 minutes gone in a hectic third quarter. Which side will be the first to crack? Wayne Otway reckons it won't be East Perth as he hooks the ball with the left boot and Alex Hamilton takes a good mark.
Yes, and Alex Hamilton, John, must be the fittest player in football. After all, every night on the Channel 7 advert, you see him running for one of those Building Society ads. There he goes, the kick right in the full forward area. In front is Perth. And play on in the split-second decision is good umpiring there by Ross Bucky. Doyle's away, goes out to the Dickinson flank. Versus Maguire. Look at the fly of Maguire. Jeff Watt is the one to come, but Miller's the recoverer. Miller sees the lead onto Maguire. There's another one onto Chris Allen on the half-forward flank. He accepts it, lines up the big sticks, pushed off the ball in the last moment to Arnold. He's caught. Scrimmage of play right in the goal square as Dickinson comes down to relieve the pressure. Pulled off. Kelly with a chance now. Onto the boot. Has this one got the distance? Let's wait on it. 1 point. And isn't it ferocious down in that goal square, Graham Moss?
Hectic passage of play. East Perth are unlucky perhaps not to score a goal, but both teams are now throwing everything into it. I think Perth suddenly realise that they've got to do something as we're 10 minutes into this third quarter. If they don't do something now, the game could slip right away from them. They're throwing themselves in, and East Perth are countering just as hard.
Kick in by Fotheringham. Otway's had 15 kicks. Ian Miller 14. Oh, look at that. No beg pardons as Mick Ray bounces off that one. His shot in towards full forward. Goal umpire underneath it. Meantime, the whistle is gone. Further up the ground, umpire Bucky is having a word there, it looks like, to what is it?
Yeah, Jeff Watt.
Jeff
Maguire's
Watt.
free kick, John.
And looks like it's going to be a free kick to Maguire because he was flattened after he got rid of the ball. So another chance for East Perth, this time from the boot of John Maguire, who'd be on the right half forward flank. Well,
he's played well today, John. He's had 12 kicks to date and shown a lot of dash on his wing.
Indeed he has. John Maguire with the ball. 12 minutes gone in the third quarter of play. A goal here would make it very difficult for Perth. There's the Maguire kick. It's high. It looks fairly accurate from here. Yes, it is. It's a goal to East Perth from the boot of John Maguire. And Graham, if I was Ken Armstrong at the moment, I'd be feeling a little worried.
He's got to do something with these players. Obviously, he wasn't able to inspire them at half-time because they've come back onto the ground in this third quarter just the way they were playing halfway through the second quarter, but he's got to do something now, and I'm sure you'll see the great coach that Ken is make some changes to try and lift his side.
Yes, well, still persevering with Chester McKean, and the ruck still being taken by Duke, but this is the man who get them going. Farrant perhaps. Doyle pushed over 2-1, out on the wing there, and finally a bounce game. Now it's Johnny Doyle, young Weasel Doyle, the ex-Aquinian, who was a star at tennis and as a 881-mile runner, goes centre-half forward. Peter Bazzasto, the flyer. Robertson, the recoverer, to Miller. Creative and elusive as always. George McKeljick's on his own, out on the members' wing. Has to pick it up, though, to get anything happening for East Perth, and does. Tries to break the tackle of Mitsopoulos, but once again caught without possession of the ball.
Well, East Perth are the runners at the moment, and Perth doing the chasing, and East Perth looking the goods. That kick from Robertson is not good. Doug Farrant, who's been fairly quiet today, takes the mark. Farrant's kick out to the far side of the ground has been marked out there by Jeff Dickinson on the left half-back flank. Dickinson with Allen on the mark, a little undecided what to do. Now goes out to the left centre wing, looking there for Ross Bender, who doesn't let him down. Ross Bender takes a fine mark. Quickly onto Johnson. Look at the pace of Alan Johnson. He whips in a short one to Bazzasto. Bazzasto can't mark, shoveling it along in front of him. Pick it up, son, pick it up. As Miller goes into tackle. What's the decision? Holding the ball it is, and a good one.
Yes, well, it's been the decision that both Bucky and Capes have played all day, but look at the way East Perth are getting the ball going quickly. It's the Cable story. And so Allen, who has the ball on the wing, sees a quick lead, chips it into Otway, and they've gained, centred the ball or straightened it up. It's been a peculiar game. The first quarter, there was a roaring breeze kicking from the right to the left of your screen. The second quarter, it rained throughout, which nullified Perth's chance with the breeze. And now in this, the third quarter, there's no breeze whatsoever, and it's perfect conditions for football. In the centre of the ground, Duke, 6'5", tried a one-handed scoop. East Perth are trying everything. Chester McKean and Cable. Cable knocks cleverly forward to Hamilton. Hamilton recovers. Good grab to Miller. Back to Duke. Over to Hamilton. Onto the boot hole. Look at the tenacity. They didn't gain 1 yard in that encounter, and the ball was handled 6 times. It comes out to the wing. Gibellini, you champion. Very quickly, though, his handball's not so good, but Mitsopoulos sharks the error by McKeljick. Into Hargrave at centre-half forward, and McKeljick and Hargrave has taken the free. Interference to Stephen Hargrave, and so Perth have a chance to go into attack. No, it's Peter Mazzusto, not Stephen Hargrave.
Mazzusto with the ball and had a little bit of treatment from George Michalczyk. You saw him getting up holding his mouth, but that's all in the course of a grand final. Well, a goal here to Perth is absolutely vital to their chances. Mazzusto about 45 metres out, directly in front, has kicked 3. Mazzusto's kick is on the way. I think that's the kick of a champion forward. Yes, sir. Perth bite back at the 15-minute mark. And do they ever need it?
That was the one they want to try and steady their team down, and to stop East Perth's run to a certain extent. Mazzusto's 5th goal for the match. He's the man that could win this game for Perth if Perth are going to get back into it. They need to continue now for the next 5 or 10 minutes of this quarter, so that they can perhaps be in a level situation at three-quarter time.
Yes, well, Peter Mazzusto's father, Bob, played for Perth, and Ian Miller's father, Bob Miller, of course, would be very proud of the performance of his son today. That's Jeff Watt in the centre of the ground as he shoves it out to Curry. Wayne Curry into the centre to Brian Cook. Long kick into centre half forward. Hayes under the ball, punched away there by Perth. It's quickly scooped on by Bryant, who gets it out to Duggan. And now look at the interception of Johnson. Bryant again, he's been impassable at centre half back. Out to the scoreboard wing, and well-read Phil Kelly. Scoreboard flank.
Kelly with the ball.
Up with some very good goals. Has gone forward into the half-forward line. Farrant now scouting from behind the pack, and I think Doug Farrant could be the man to get Perth moving. Not like that, however, John Rogers.
I was just going to say, Arthur, not with a kick like that. It's out of bounds on the full under the scoreboard, which reads East Perth 8-9-57 to Perth 6-3-39. East Perth doing it very well. Kick up towards Arnold, bumped away by Fotheringham. Backing up well as number 5, Bowyer. He in turn out to Wiley as good play. Wiley a good pass to Cook, and Perth breathe a sigh of relief as Cook gives it off to Wiley. He onto the left boot up towards half forward, but rock-like in defence East Perth. Great mark to Georgie Michalczyk. What a strong game he's played today.
All through the final rounds, George Michalczyk with a back pocket or on the half-back flank's done it well. And look at the way he passed that ball to Hamilton. Centre of the ground, Alex Hamilton. Goes into the centre half forward here looking for Miller. Miller, well, good mark here, Miller. He played centre half forward for Perth when he won his Sandover medal in 1972. He's been a star with Fitzroy, and now he is 60 metres out from goal directly in front. Ian Miller's kick falling short. Mick Ray's there, so is Arnold. Arnold has taken a spectacular mark. Well, there he is, running back. Determination written all over his face. Paul Arnold, 21 years of age, and playing his 41st game for the Royals today. And in his early days, when he was going through as a surveyor, he used to clean the locker rooms out and vowed that one day he'd be a league player for East Perth, and he socks another one through.
Well, East Perth going away with this game. Ian Miller, I think, has been a dominant factor in this game up till now. He set that goal up for Arnold. He's getting kicks in defence. He's getting kicks in the forward line. He's the link man for East Perth as far as getting the ball to their forward line is concerned. And Arnold is coming into his own in the goal square. That's his 2nd goal, and he's looking dangerous. The Perth back line are playing undisciplined. Farrant has kicked the ball out of bounds on the full a number of times, which is uncharacteristic of him and the Perth side. They just seem to lack something, Perth, and they're fighting at the moment to stay in this game.
Well, the East Perth following division doing it very well as far as kicks are concerned. Wayne Otway, the Rover, has 16. Ian Miller, their ruck Rover, has 15. Bounce down in the centre. Is it East Perth again to go into attack? No, it's Perth. Just out of the centre it goes, but Michalczyk's having none of it. He puts the ball back in the Hamilton direction, and look at the courage of Alex Hamilton as he strides away. A good hand pass to almost the man of the match, Ian Miller. Miller onto the left boot, in towards full forward, but the safe arms of Clinton Roberts hold up that attack forward. Well, now Perth have set up the loose man on the far side of the ground. Wayne Curry with the ball can run a good distance and does. Curry's kick out towards the left half forward flank, trying to find a teammate there in Stephen Hargrave. Can't. And right underneath the scoreboard, which shows that there's 20 minutes gone in the 3rd quarter, the umpire will throw the ball into play.
Stephen Hargrave, 25, is having a go on the ruck. Gibellini flies from behind and does get the tap. Picked up by Johnson very cleverly, and he's got pace. He's bundled out of the way. Gets the free from the back. And now on the left half forward flank, Alan Johnson has a chance to drive the ball right deep into the forward line for Perth. That's where the kick goes. Dowell under the pack. He's been unsighted as a full forward today. Michalczyk smooth to Hayes. onto the foot of Mitsopoulos. Now Wiley has every chance to score here. The Wiley onto the left boot. Back to the same pocket it came from. Doyle's there, so too is Dowell. And now it's Doyle who gets a second crack at the goals. And what has he done? Picked up a point. So East Perth 9-9, lead Perth 6-4.
20 minutes gone in this action-packed third quarter. It's Glenn Robertson, who's been a strong player in defence for East Perth, to bring the ball into play. Out wide to Wayne Duke, the two number 27s, Duke and Ross Bender. Kevin Hill is there also, opposed by John Maguire. Neither can control the ball, and we'll see yet another throw-in take place.
Kevin Hill replacing Jeff Watt on the wing. He just hobbled off.
Right, Watt hobbling off the ground. Nudge in the back, the Ross Bender went unsighted, but the ball thumped up towards half-forward. Bryant, oh, great play between he and Stephen Curtis. Whoops, left it behind Steve on that occasion. And this leaves it up to Wiley, who goes onto the left boot. Mitsopoulos is loose and is, marked. Yes, sir. Mitsopoulos marked as Robertson and George McCalcher came charging in to try and spoil. Chrissy Mitsopoulos with eyes on the ball. Number 24 there, he is in your screen. His eyes firmly fixed on the ball, and his hands, has been awarded the mark. A goal here, I would suggest, would be a very, very timely one. Mitsopoulos, we're right behind him, is about 35 metres out. He'll open the goals up a little because of his left foot. There goes the Mitsopoulos kick. It has absolutely split the centre, dead straight through the middle for Perth's 7th goal, which takes them to 7-4-46, trailing East Perth 9-9-63. There it is on the screen with 21 minutes gone in the third quarter.
Extremely timely goal for Perth, John. With only about probably 6 or 7 minutes to go of this third quarter, Perth perhaps need 1 or 2 more goals so to set the stage for an exciting final quarter.
And Bycapes in possession of the ball. Win Ross Bender, who won the Simpson medal in the grand final last year, opposed to Bradley Smith. Smith gets the knock to Miller. Out to the half-back flank where Dickinson, who's been safe in that position, is tackled without possession by Hamilton, and Jeff Dickinson will take the free. A lot of courage, this fellow. An ex-state half-back flanker, came back from injury, and he's back starring again. Is Farrant now on the scoreboard. Wing drives up to the half-forward flank. Good mark out there by the Perth player, and it's gained Peter Bozzusto, who John Rogers called earlier as possibly the man of the match. And you'd have to say that he could be, because he's kicked 5 goals already. 5 of the Perth's 7 goals to Peter Bozzusto, and he's 65 metres out at the moment. Kick falling short this time, however, but look at the fly of John Hayes, and somehow amongst that pack, it looked as though a Perth player had emerged with it, but the player wasn't Perth, it was Ross Capes.
It was Dowell who was the high flyer, Arthur, but didn't hold it long enough in the opinion of Ross Capes. Big thump by Brad Smith goes nowhere. It's still in the Perth forward line. Robertson was set upon by Perth forwards. Finally taken by Mitsopoulos, snapping it in towards full forward, and Ian Miller. What a superb game. He must be breaking Ken Armstrong's heart the way he's playing out there at the moment. There's a beautiful pass out towards the wing, but unfortunately 2 East Perth players got mixed up. This allowed Hill to take the ball, and there it is into Gary Gibellini just on the point of the centre square. Gary Gibellini settling things down. A little undecided what to do now. He's not as Hill cleverly went round the half-forward flank, chopped in towards centre half-forward, and that was the obvious result of a very good move.
I'll say it was courageous shepherding by Inman prior to that. Now Kevin Hill, who was a star in the grand final last year, on his wing, 60 metres out from goal, kick a bit to the right of the square, and punched finally out of bounds. And as we speak, Ian Miller runs back to make position for the resultant point that has occurred. That ball actually went through for a point. There's a good shot of Ken Armstrong, and I wouldn't say that he does look worried, because East Perth are 9-9 to Perth 7-5, and there's still a quarter of football to go. It's a very even tussle. Johnson out on his wing accepts the pass, quickly chips into centre half forward, where Bryant overruns the ball. It was Miller. Scrimmage of play again in that position. Peter Bozzusto trying to burst out of the pack. Kevin Bryant now has his hands on it, and once again a bounce down just inside the centre half forward position in favour of Perth. At the 25-minute mark, East Perth 9-9, Perth 7-5.
Bounce down, Bradley Smith high, doesn't get a clear tap, however. John Doyle a chance. Now it's Chris Mitsopoulos. What can he do with it? In towards Hargrove, whoops, who went up one-handed, which was fatal. Alex Hamilton or Barry Cable it is. Gee, they're hard to tell apart. Cable, a champion. Long hand pass to Maguire. He can get a hand pass further afield to Curtis, but it went astray. Now it's Gibellini's chance. He just sunk Maguire with an elbow. Out came Hamilton. kick is wild. It's out of bounds.
Oh, look at that,
Brad
John.
Smith is very, very cross with the way Gibellini went in. And Brad Smith, in his last game of league football, is letting Gary Gibellini know that he was most unhappy about the way Gibellini dealt with John Maguire, who at the moment is in the hands of the trainer. And there you can see Ross Bender having an argument with a spectator. Thank you very much.
Yeah, he wants to get on with it because it was out
does
on
he
the
ever.
full, and Ross Bender knows that if he doesn't get the kick in quickly, there'll be a bounce down, and he wants to get the kick. Well, there you are. See, this is what happens. It's been taken from Perth, and Stephen Curtis, who won the fairest and best for the Royals last year in the club effort, has taken the free. Doug Farrant, the man we mentioned as the possible person who could stir the demons today, and he's marked right in front of our commentary position.
Kick from Farrant up towards right half forward. Robertson, eyes on the ball, good mark. And he, together with the rest of the East Perth defence, well led by Stephen Curtis, have provided very, very strong opposition for Perth as they go into attack. Robertson on that left half back flank, settling things down. East Perth a 9-9-63, Perth a 7-5-47. Shocking kick straight into the arms of Gary Gibellini, who was mixed up in that altercation with Brad Smith a few moments ago.
Yes, well, he's a good player to have around, Gary Gibellini. He can stir his side, he reads the play well. He's playing the same type of game as Miller, and both of them have been making a lot of opportunities for their sides. Quinn Ross Bender, right centre wing, and he goes inboard to centre half forward, where Hargrave is shoveled out of the way. Bradley Smith there too. Look at Curtis coming through, and he's understanding with McAlgic, who goes out to Chris Allen on the scoreboard wing. He's hotly pursued by Johnson, who pushes Allen off. He's got too much pace for Allen and recovers well, Alan Johnson. Centre half forward, chips it into Dowell, and instead, in front of Dowell, is that champion rover for Perth, Robert Wiley.
Been a good quarter for Perth, Arthur. They've kicked, what, 2 goals, but it's been an even better quarter for East Perth, who have kicked 3.
Yes, but Robert Wiley's only 40 metres out from goal. Usually a very accurate shot, and this one is no exception.
It's a real pressure game we've got here today. That goal from Robert Wiley has brought the difference in the scores up to only a couple of goals, and Perth are creeping back into this game, but full credit to the players. They're not giving in at all. They're throwing everything into it. You saw that altercation between Gibellini and Bradley Smith, which is a typical example of the pressure that's out there today.
Well, we're back to the status quo that we had previously, because at half-time there was 10 points the difference, and there is now, as your scoreboard showed you a moment ago. Chance there for Ross Bender. He can't shovel it further afield. Maguire going in with vigour, so is Kickett. He was held when not in possession of the ball, and Larry Kickett to take it just on the defensive side of centre. He has Ian Miller out loose just forward of left centre wing. That's the way the ball has gone, and Ian Miller, a superb game he's playing for his side. As I said, must be absolutely breaking Ken Armstrong's heart, the way Ian Miller's playing at the moment. Just forward of left centre wing, Miller's kick into attack.
Yes, Dickinson under the ball, so too is Farrant, but oh, Phil Kelly just missed a spectacular mark. This is Hamilton ducking and diving to Cable. The twins of football, both left-footers and both blonde-headed, very quick thinkers. Kelly, another left-footer, but now it's Clint Roberts coming through. He's caught. No, he isn't. He plays on as Fotheringham tries to clear. Gee, oh, around the neck. And young Weasel Doyle has certainly taken an extra large collar next week.
I'd say that if you measured his neck, it'd be about a 13 1/4 small. Doyle in the right full-back pocket, trying to get some life into the Perth side. Goes in short, looking for teammate Dickinson. Right on his hammer is Hamilton. And Dickinson with the mark. Hand pass to Mitsopoulos is good play. Well done, John Maguire. Because Kevin Hill was loose, Maguire smothered the hand pass, and Perth, Graham, making a lot of mistakes under pressure.
A lot of mistakes, but that's grand finals for you.
Yes, Kelly getting the knock, read by Dickinson. All Perth out there on the back line at the moment as Johnson comes down from his wing. He breaks right down the centre, but there are no leads off him because it's very defensive. The only lead on was Wiley, and that was a great kick by Alan Johnson. Perth quickly arm back in the centre half forward area. Hargrave with 2 players to beat. Can't beat either of them. Hill bursting through, but does know where to go. Miller scoops it out cleverly to Curtis. Not these two playing well. Into the centre half forward area. Cook the flyer. Back up is well done by Clint Roberts to Wiley in the centre. On his own is Robert Wiley, but there are no forwards for Perth. Nowhere to kick it to. Look at Miller bursting through there. gives it very quickly to Duggan, plays on quickly. Duggan nowhere to kick it to because it's a game of defence.
And Inman takes the ball from the Duggan kick. Plenty of time to steady and do what he likes with it. And look at the kick from Ken Inman, right up to the left full forward pocket. Great mark taken there, and it looks like it is
Barry Dowell.
Barry Dowell, being a little unsighted. That's the reason why I couldn't pick him up instantaneously, because we haven't seen a great deal of him. Maybe the pace of finals football has been a bit much, but Dowell a chance to bring his side to within 4 points of East Perth. As the siren has gone to end the third quarter, there goes the Barry Dowell kick. The Perth crowd erupt, and my word, what a game of football we have on our hands as the 9th goal has gone through for Perth. Have a look at the three-quarter time score. There it is, East Perth 9-9-63, Perth a 9-5-59, and a tremendous last quarter just about to take place.
For Ron Bucky about to bounce the ball to commence the final quarter of this year's 1978 Grand Final. There are 45,126 spectators at Subiaco about to witness the 25 minutes of the winter struggle for football supremacy, and there are only 4 points separating both sides as we start this quarter. That's Otway clearing the ball. He's got a bundle of kicks today as a very diminutive rover. Dickinson on the half-back flank as opposed to Hamilton. He looks like emerging with it, but Hamilton bites back, and there'll be a bounce down on the right half-forward flank favouring the Royals.
Well, East Perth quickly into attack in this final quarter, and the first couple of goals are going to be vital in this game. Duke getting yet another tap, not an accurate one as Wiley tries to chip in front of Kelly. Can't. And we'll see a throw in as light misty rain looks as if it's just about to fall in the final quarter of play. Good tap by Duke out towards Otway. He's sunk but grabbed. The umpire says we're not in possession of the ball. This will be a very important kick for East Perth. As young Wayne Otway, who's had a bundle of kicks so far, something like 17 kicks for the game, will put his side deep into attack.
And there goes the ball, centre half forward. Arnold under the pack, played in long sleeves in the second quarter, short sleeves right now. Number 11 is Clint Roberts. Bursting or biting, gets it to Wiley on the half-back flank. Perth with a chance. Ross Bender on his own out on that half-back flank. He sees the lead further down to Hargrave, and the contestant is Bryant. Mitsopoulos with a chance too. So too number 4 is McKelgic, who's hardly put a foot wrong on his half-back flank. To Otway, he's too small on this occasion. Quickly scooped on by Johnson, the speedster. To Kevin Hill versus Maguire, and the star of the match for East Perth, Maguire's taken a comfortable mark.
Great game, Maguire, as he gives it to Larry Kickett, who's been another solid player for his side. Kickett on left centre wing, going out towards Ian Miller. Goodness gracious me, East Perth with the run. Ian Miller in front of Gibellini. And a strong game as the East Perth Ruck Rover play. There's the Miller kick up towards the left full forward pocket. Arnold is up. Has he marked? Yes, he has. In the opinion of umpire Ron Bucky, Paul Arnold held that ball long enough and has taken the mark. He's kicked 1 goal in each of the first, second and third quarters, and now all eyes on him. 45,126 pairs of eyes on Paul Arnold as he comes in to try and post number 4 on the board. Paul Arnold, there he is, right in the middle of your screen. Kick is on the way. Tremendous amount of pressure. Crowd erupts. That's through. 10th goal to East Perth, and a most important one as well.
Paul Arnold's fourth for the game. He's playing where he left off from the preliminary final. He's playing extremely well and getting these goals. The first goal of the quarter to East Perth, probably a very important goal for them. If they steady down now and go on with the game, we could see an East Perth victory.
Yes, well, he equalled Naylor, Regan and Gorman's record in the preliminary final with 9 goals. He's got 4 to date. Curry, centre half-back, gets the lead on from Cook. Long left-footer as a rule is Cook, but that's the tenacity. He's pushed off, and Walsh recovers. Looks for Kelly in the centre half-forward position. Curry and Kelly. Kelly brushes Curry away, and Kelly on the left foot. Studies, shoots, and brings up the 11th goal for East Perth, and the crowd have gone mad.
That's sand over metal play, isn't it? Hey, isn't
Fantastic
that sand over metal play?
The opportunist, it's about the 3rd time he's done that today. Read the play, up the ground, moved in, brushed the opponent aside, onto his left foot. He doesn't miss them from that far out or from that range. Well,
Kelly's 3rd goal was in fact his 15th kick. Not a bad effort from a half-forward flank. So now we find that East Perth 11-9-75, Perth 9-5-59. Bounce down. Can East Perth sustain their run? Big thump by Duke. Isn't going very far, however, as umpire Bucky will bounce down once more. Up they go. Duke rucking strongly. Hamilton is in. Oh, look at them going in on Alex Hamilton. tenacious play by him on the bottom of the pack, and Bunbucky again.
Yes, 14 is Gibellini, and Wiley's in there too. He has to lift his game, and Gibellini's been a star. Gets the kick into centre half forward. Hill, look at that courage, but McKelchick again has come through with possession. Oh, and Hill's back there. By golly, he's got some tenacity today, and Kevin Hill gets the free for Endeavour. He quickly plays on because Curry's come down to lend him a hand. Out to the Doug Farrant area goes the ball, and Farrant traps it cleverly. He's usually a good shot for goal, Doug Farrant. Let's wait on this one. But, oh, we've put the mocker on him, John Rogers.
I think that was a kiss of death, Arthur.
Well, there he goes, number 1, Doug Farrant. 70 games with North Melbourne, and kicking out of bounds on the foot.
I knew he'd done something wrong with the ball, because as soon as it left his boot, all the East Perth flags started to wave, so it was obviously out on the full.
As a matter of fact, someone souvenired it by the look of it, because Robertson in the goals there is waiting to get his kick to put the ball back into play, but no one is returning the ball.
The umpires are bringing another one out. And Graham, can you sense an East Perth victory here, or can Perth steady?
They're starting to get their tails up. It's a matter of trying to find someone in the Perth side that can lift their game, and in so doing rally the Perth team, because that's what they need at the moment. Someone to... Johnson's been trying hard, particularly in that third quarter. If he can perhaps do something brilliant in the next few minutes and lift the Perth side, then they could get back into the game.
Well, there's the kick into play. Let's see if what Graham Moss says can come true. Ian Miller again, kicking the ball in towards the centre. Brian Cook, can he be the player to do it from centre half back? Cook has taken the mark just on the defensive side of centre. He'll put Perth into attack. Good torpedo punt kick, holding up a little. Underneath it is Bazasto. Oh, he and Hargrave get mixed up, as you saw. Hill, can Hill be the man? Steadies, sends it in towards full forward, but the goal umpire, making a tremendous amount of distance to his right, has indicated that 1 point is the result when goals are needed.
So East Perth are 11-9 and Perth are 9-6. And only 6 minutes have gone in the final quarter, and I still think it's anybody's game, as Miller gets the chip from Robinson, who looks for the backup, but Miller sees another one onto Hayes, who's been relatively quiet today. Centre half back John Hayes. Started his career in football as a soccer player, then saw the light and started playing with East Perth. Had 3 other clubs, and he's back with East Perth as his kick goes out to the scoreboard wing, where the players contest it. Kelly under the pack, scooped by Duke. He handles the ball well for a 6'5" fellow. And now Inman with a long clearing kick, centre half forward, looks for Bazasto, sharked by Walsh. Unobtrusive half-back flanker is Walsh, but he gets that kick to Dickinson, which is not good football. To Wiley is good for Perth, and now the ball comes out to the runners. Allen versus Johnson is the contest, as Johnson seems to manhandle the ball the better. To Johnny Weasel Doyle, back to Johnson's good football for Perth. Robinson's in there too, and there'll be a bounce down right in front of our commentary position.
And East Perth certainly not giving up the lead that they're clinging to at the moment. They're 11-9-75, 15 points in front of Perth, who are 9-6-60 with just 7 minutes gone in the final quarter. Duke, yet another tap. He's done very well in the ruck. Coming in there is Mitsopoulos. He'll put Perth into attack up towards a left full forward pocket. The ball just keeps in play. Doug Farrant tried to fox the umpire and in fact put that one through. But of course, umpire was not to be fooled. Thank you very much. And it's out of bounds. And a throw in midway between Perth's left half forward flank and left full forward pocket.
And it looks as though when the attacking side, which is to the left of your screen, it rained throughout the second quarter for Perth, and down comes the rain again in this, the fourth quarter.
Somebody must have done something wrong in the Perth camp, as that thump from Wayne Duke finds the boundary line yet again.
Wiley, the Rovers have done well with the greasy conditions. Wiley's had 21 kicks, and Miller, a star for East Perth, has had 21 also. Otway, another diminutive Rover, has had 19 kicks.
Duke again, good tap, but once again the ball has found the boundary line as neither side is prepared to concede an inch. East Perth 11-9-75, Perth 9-6-60, 8 minutes gone in play.
And Ross Bender's coming on, and this spells danger for East Perth because Ross Bender has rucked well. Hargrave under the pack. Johnson pulled off it by Otway. He still managed to get his handball, which goes in the Peter Bazasto area. Quickly gives it out to Curry. Hill's on his own, centre half forward. High kick going into the John Hayes Farrant area, and finally Miller. Well, good play, John Hayes. Just shoveled Farrant out of the way, and Miller, uncontested, took the mark. There's plenty of leads on from East Perth now as they get it out to their flank, on the back flank for East Perth.
The hand pass comes to Robertson, who stupidly hand passed straight to Farrant. Farrant in turn to Curry. Curry's kick up towards full forward. And I reckon you're looking at the man of the match at the moment, yes. Ian Miller. Oh, stupid hand pass, though, to Curtis. McKelchick was able to back it up well. Still a chance for Perth through Doyle. He sidesteps, runs into an open goal, must score, and has. Well, mistakes by East Perth. dreadful mistakes by East Perth in defence allowed Perth in to score their 10th goal.
Ian Miller hanging his head in shame. He's definitely the man of the match. He's been everywhere. He seems to be able to read that ball before it's even kicked. But on that occasion, stupid hand pass close in defence to Stephen Curtis, came unstuck, and Doyle, the opportunist, picked it up and put it through for a valuable goal to Perth.
Yes, and they say that the definition of a professional is not the money, but the fact they are dedicated to eliminating errors. And Ian Miller wouldn't like that one, as Kickett breaks away and finds the champion, Phil Kelly. The 1978 Sandover medalist plays on to the very fast Kickett, who's way down from his centre position. And as we know, play on football is the name of the game in the 1978 style. And Kickett now, right half forward flank is marked. The rain is belting down here, and he is 35 metres out from goal. Normally, the distance would be no trouble. Will the heavy ball make any difference? As he slides this one through, he's got the distance all right, but only 1 point goes on the board for the Royals. They go to 11-10, and they're leading Perth 10-6, and only 10 minutes have gone in the final quarter, so it's still anybody's game.
Short kick in by Fotheringham was marked, as you saw, by Gibolini. He went straight across the other side of the ground. Why, I'll never know, because Larry Kickett was in great position to take the mark, which he did on East Perth's right half forward flank, and his kick, of course, will give the Perth defenders no respite. There it is, in towards Hamilton. Hamilton only about 15 or 20 metres further. East Perth are keeping possession of the and keeping a tremendous amount of pressure on the Perth defenders. Alex Hamilton, the left foot kick, is swinging in nicely right up to the edge of the square, thumped away by Fotheringham, thumped further away by Bowyer, number 5. He tries to follow it up, but the boundary line is too close for him, and we'll see yet another throw in. East Perth at 11-10, 76, 10 points in front of Perth, who are 10-6, 66, 10 minutes gone.
Yes, and the gloom's come over the ground. It's a gloom for Perth supporters as Kelly breaks through onto the left foot and scores a point. But it's a gloom also for the Perth supporters, because this rain will hamper any chance of Perth getting back. What difference do you think it'll make, Graham?
Well, it means that if they're going to get back in this game, they're going to do it at a much slower rate than they would if the ball was dry.
Kelly again under the pack, caught without possession, a rule that's been paid all day by umpire Capes, and he'll take the free. And how it's coming down in bucket loads. Look at that on your screen. That's Kelly, socks down in characteristic style, but we haven't seen any rain like that throughout the football season. Right into the goal square. Pack of Perth players. Play on though as Wiley comes out to take possession. He looks for Cook, who slides down on his back. Otway, beautiful handballing Wayne Otway, screws back goalwards, right in the square as the ball, and it goes through for another point to the Royals.
Superb pickup from Wayne Otway. It could have been a dry ball for all the difference that it made, and the rain is absolutely pouring down. You can see it on your screen there, as a kick in by Fotheringham has been marked by Robert Wiley at the just backward of the true centre half back position. He goes out wide on the left half back flank to Dickinson, but oh goodness me, you can't mess around with the ball. You've got to keep it off the slippery ground at the moment, because this is exactly what East Perth want. If they can pack it up and stop Perth doing anything creative, well, it's going to make it hard for Perth to get back. As Kelly's hand pass is taken by Hamilton right up towards full forward. Or has the mark been taken there by Arnold? I think it has. Paul Arnold held that one long enough to be awarded the mark. The lad has kicked 4 goals so far. Will make an absolute hero of himself if he puts this one through, because I feel that at the 13-minute mark, if he can, with this rain pouring down, it's going to make it most difficult for Perth to get back into the game. Paul Arnold right behind him, about 15, 20 metres out. The kick on the way. Has he slung it a little wide? I think so. Yes, he has. 1 point only, so that takes East Perth to 11-13, 79. Perth remain at the 13-minute mark on 10-6, 66.
Every score is important for either team at this stage. With this rain the way it is at the moment, it's very difficult for either team to score.
Very difficult for us to see too, I might add.
Now it comes to the half-back flank. Wyn Rossbender now shoveling it on. He gives it to Dickinson. He should handle the wet all right, because he won a swim through Perth swimming backstroke, did Jeff Dickinson. Cook's bundled out of the way, but goes centre-half forward with his kick. Mitsopoulos versus Mikaljic. Mitsopoulos, oh, look at the tenacity as he scoops the ball to Gibolini. This is danger, but he's caught holding the ball with 3 whizzies right in front of umpire Bucky, and the kick will go to the star back pocket player Stephen Curtis. Gee, he's played well today, and he's setting an example to his teammates with his courage and his brilliant bursts upfield. Stephen Curtis now coming out to the members' wing, looking for Kelly, or kick it, take your pick, and it's Kelly who recovers the best. Wet ball and all, he handles it like a true Sandover medalist. The Otway, back to Kelly's good football. Now it's Allen who fumbles at the last moment, but recovers well. By golly, John Rogers, East Perth are handling the wet conditions, as now the ball goes up to the right centre wing. Mick Ray now, who's played with a lot of dash.
Aren't they ever handling it well, as Ray gives it out to Hamilton. He in turn to kick it. He's got Cable loose if he wants to give him the ball, which he does. Captain coach Barry Cable's kick. Oh, wouldn't it be fitting if that had have been a goal? Unfortunately out on the full, and Perth, I think through Fotheringham, will take the resultant kick in the play. He goes short to Robert Wiley, who's about ankle deep in water at the moment. The wind has died, the ground is flooding, and I'd say most of it would probably be the tears of the Perth supporters at the moment, as the kick from Wiley is smothered and it's out of bounds, and the throw-in on East Perth's right half forward flank.
Barry Cable certainly knows what grand finals are all about. He's been in 8 of them and won 5. And the 3 that Perth won, he won the Simpson medal in all 3. So what a brilliant player he's been. And there'll be a bounce down again in the right half forward position. Number 18 is Dickinson for Perth. 27, Ross Bender, as he gets the thump. Shark by Ray to Otway. He's always dangerous. Into the centre half forward position. Duggan with a chance. And now finally coming out is Clint Roberts. He's caught. The tackling's been great for both sides today. Gibellini diving or skidding on the ball, or swimming is he. And finally, Cape says, I'll have it. Only 15, 20 metres out from goal, directly in front. And the score favouring East Perth is 11 goals 13. Perth are 10 goals 6.
79 plays 66, 15 minutes gone. As Perth clear the ball out towards the right centre wing. Mitsopoulos there with a chance. He can't pick it up. Players pack up on the ball. On top is George McKelchik. On the bottom is Chris Allen. And umpire Ron Capes, or Ron Bucky, I should say, to bounce down. Not a particularly good one. I'd say they're going to have to start throwing the ball up pretty soon. Kelly is in there on the bottom of the pack. And that's been typical of East Perth's play all day. Players prepared to get in on the bottom of the pack, work hard to try and get their side to go forward. Duke, yet another tap. As through come Perth. Pushed along there by Johnny Doyle. He's pushed when not in possession of the ball and will take the kick. Wasting no time. Goodness me, nobody stood on the mark, which allowed Doyle to run about 20 metres. His kick up towards centre half forward. Taken there for Perth by Hargrave. Can't do anything with it. Well done, Glenn Robertson, as he gave it out to the star back pocket player, Stephen Curtis, who in turn puts it up to Hamilton. He to Otway. Otway's got rid of it. Thought he might have been paid a kick. 2 Perth players get mixed up. Dickinson finally comes out with it. Otway not to be undone. Nor is McKelchik. Great play, George McKelchik, as he thumps it further afield towards Kelly. And Kelly's soccer has gone out of bounds. An anti-climax to a great passage of play.
Yes, and there's no doubt about it. The crowd emotion is affecting the players and lifting their performance to the unrepeatable as the throw-in comes in now on the members' wing. Ross Bender in front. High flyer is Gibellini, and the shark is by Hamilton, number 10. Mick Ray has the run of the ball in the soggy conditions at the moment at Subiaco Oval. Tried to be 20 versus 20. Mick Ray pushed out by Johnson. On hands and heels now is Dickinson, and Ken Inman has come across to give him a bit of a support. Well, number 4 for Perth, Ken Inman, has been a great player on the half-back line and an inspiring captain. There you are. You don't see that very often. The ball thrown up by a central umpire. Cook to Wiley. Members wing. Under the ball, on his own, McKelchik. Cop one for his troubles. And have a look at that misty rain as number 4, the ex-Narrabeen kid, puts East Perth back into attack.
There's nothing wrong with the screen of your television set. It's just rain, as the ball once again has found the boundary line, and we look like having a very, very wet end to the 1978 grand final, with the score East Perth 11-13, 79, Perth 10-6, 66. And there is now some 17 and a half minutes gone. Hand pass is not good from Doyle towards Dickinson. Was thumped over the line by Chris Allen. And this, I'd say, Graham, is exactly the sort of play that East Perth want. Just time wasting, bogging the ball down so that Perth can't get back into it.
Well, they're in front, 13 points in front. That's exactly right, John. They just want to control the ball, not allow Perth in, and they'll win this game.
Yes, and we're in the 18-minute mark of the final quarter. A goal to Perth would be handy, but East Perth have had possession of the ball for most of the quarter. That's Arnold leading in the race for the ball. He's opposed to Fotheringham, has too much weight and skill for that youngster. The Doyle in there checking for the ball too. Number 8 is Fotheringham recovering, and arms outstretched is Ross Capes, who says, I'll have it. Now we'll watch and see if he bounces it or throws it up. He's going to throw it up, he's indicated to Paul Arnold, number 29, who's gone from full forward to ruck in this position. You can see the green square, which is in the goal front. Big tap out there by Mick Ray. Otway plays low to the ground. very quickly gets boot to ball. But that's the 14th point going on the board for East Perth, and they lead 11 goals 14 to Perth's 10-6 in the final quarter of the 1978 grand final.
Well, we thought that Wiley had a fairly quiet day, but he's had 24 kicks. Miller's had 22, and Otway's had 23. As John Maguire takes the ball in towards full forward, goal umpire behind that. Yet another point to East Perth, but as Graham Moss so rightly said a few minutes ago, every score is important. Further kicks, Phil Kelly, a great game, has had 19 kicks, and Larry Kickett in the centre has had 16. As we wait on Fotheringham to take yet another kick into play.
And it goes straight down the centre of the ground towards Ken Inman, the captain. Inman is played on very quickly to Curry, into the centre of the ground. George McKelgic under the ball. Look at the way it's being pulled up in the wet conditions as Kevin Bryant says, well, I'm a mudlark, I'll show you how to play it. Overruns it, and Stephen Hargrave with a chance. Gee, what a disappointing last few minutes of this for the Perth players, but it's a great thing for the Royals, as scoring is very difficult. Scrimmage of play. Now Cable, who's had experience in these conditions, says, let me have it. Still in the centre of the ground. It's more like a soccer game. And have a look at Alex Hamilton.
Somebody's going to drown out there if they're not careful.
Number 3 is Doyle. And all the little fellows, of course, will do the better in the sparring when the ball is on the ground. Centre of the ground, that's Riley. He's a little fella and a very good rover. Goes out to Peter Bazzusto, who looks as though he's finding it hard to hold his footing. Maguire is number 25 and Cable 9 on your screen. Out on the scoreboard wing it is, with the scoreboard reading East Perth 11-15 to Perth 10-6. 20 minutes gone in the final quarter.
Well, there's been a free kick awarded on the far side of the ground to Hill because the player that Hill tackled didn't get rid of the ball in the prescribed manner, and Kevin Hill a chance to put his side deep into attack. There's the Hill torpedo punt kick up towards half forward, thumped away by Bryant is good play. Backing it up well, Perth try and get it further afield. Player being held there for Perth was Wayne Curry, and Curry to take the kick. Wasting no time, up to Bazzusto, deep in the right full forward pocket. Bazzusto a chance to bring up his own 6th goal and the 11th for Perth. And Peter Bazzusto obviously thinking he's got a chance. He's a fair way out. The ball's heavy. It's up to the edge of the square. Duke comes through. Gibellini tried to socket that off the ground but couldn't. Scrambling after it he goes. But great play by Robertson to get a hand to the ball and force it through for 1 point only to Perth.
Well, Graham, you've been in this position before, but I can remember Royce Hart saying that a loss in the grand final will naturally bring disappointment, but to a footballer, nothing on earth can compare with being in a winning side.
That's certainly right. I haven't actually played in the grand final, Arthur, but I know the feeling that will go through the East Perth players' minds when the siren rings. That's before they win the game, of course. The game's not over.
And the ball's on the half-forward line for Perth. That was Miller getting yet another kick, and he's Simpson's medal material as he looks to kick it in the centre of the ground. Oh, water flying everywhere. As umpire Ron Bucky says, I'll have it. East Perth 11-15, leading Perth 10-7. 22 minutes gone in the final quarter.
Well, there's only been 3 goals scored in the final quarter, Arthur, so I'd suggest that probably the final quarter there won't be a great deal of overtime in it. As the whistle is gone, and a free kick to Ken Inman, who is on the bottom of that pack. Inman wasting no time, up towards the full forward area. A chance there for number 29 for Perth, who of course is Dowell. Dowell's deep in the right full forward pocket. Hill swooping in, can't do anything with the ball, and it's out of bounds about 20 metres around from the right-hand point post, deep in attack for Perth. Perth at 10-7, 67. East Perth at 11-15, 81.
Duke again rucking, and he's rucked well today. Played himself into form as he gets it to Cable, who goes out to the half-back flank, and the ball goes over the line. A throw-in will take place, and the sun is out. So although the rain has dropped, the sunshine is starting to go, and maybe there is a glimmer of hope for the Demons, with only 6 or 7 minutes to go. 27 Wasbender pushed out of the way by Duke, who gets the second tap in for East Perth. I repeat, he's rucked well today for the Royals. Scrimmage of play out on the scoreboard flank, and there'll be a bounce down.
Well, waiting on umpire Bucky to get proceedings underway. They're throwing the ball up, which is something that Arthur mentioned you don't see very often in Western Australian football, as the crowd come alight and start chanting East Perth, as they sense that the 1978 flag is going to go to the Royals. Gary Bowyer puts the ball up towards centre half forward. It's cleared by Hayes, but straight into the arms of number 16, Wayne Curry. Why Curry persists in going to that right full forward pocket, I don't know. Wiley's there, perhaps that's the reason. Wiley's kick has been sharked there by Bazzusto, and Bazzusto's popped it through for his own 6th and Perth's 11th. Well, Graham, are they back in the game?
With only about 3 or 4 minutes to go, John, they certainly could be. If Buzusto, who has been their main goal kicker with 7 goals today, in fact, he's been really within the only forward they've had all day. If he can perhaps flash into the play again, then Perth are in with a chance, but they're certainly still facing an uphill battle.
8 points the difference. East Perth 11-15, 81 points. Leading Perth 11-7, 73 points. And 24 minutes have gone as Ross Bender gets the tap. Otway, the sharker for the Royals, however, comes out to the flank where Johnson has the sit. Ball is very hard to control, and Johnson, look at him in the water there, comes out of trouble with a nice neat little chip to Ross Bender. Ross Bender in turn gives it over to Gibellini, who's been a star for Perth today. On the members' wing goes Gibellini's kick centre, looking for Dowell, who's under the ball, nearly pulls down a specky. Farrant puts his head down going for the free, but umpire Cape says, I'd better have it. Only 25 metres out from goal, just inside the centre-half forward position, and there goes the throw up by Capes. Dowell bustling for position, but a good tap by Hayes. McKelgic, and finally the ball goes over the line, and the ball being edged closer to the Demons' goals, and everyone on tenterhooks here at Subiaco Oval as we approach the time on period.
Well, there's 8 points to difference, and there is 4 minutes to go of play. Wiley's had 27 kicks, Wayne Otway 25, Ian Miller 23. As the ball is taken by Brad Smith, a wild old hand pass. Wiley's in the road. Can he do anything with the ball? Tries to give it a teammate, Mitsopoulos. Unfortunately for Perth, it's out of bounds. About 3.5 minutes to go, and Perth are 8 points down in the 1978 Grand Final. Can East Perth hold on? Can Perth get back in the game? Mitsopoulos. Oh, Alex Hamilton. Oh, Alex Hamilton, what a hero. What a diving mark to save what looked to be a certain goal.
Yes, and that's the Cable coaching, because he's been telling everyone that it's the little things that count. You interview any of the East Perth players, they'll say they've learned a lot from Cable. And of course, Cable is a disciple of the Ron Barassi success method, and it looks as though he's done it again with little bits like that. Marking on the goal square, Alex Hamilton, he's away. Chips out to the Miller area, but it's been intercepted by Buzusto. Johnson can have it too if he wants to, but the brilliant Peter Buzusto's away. Side steps, can he get his kick in? Wait on it, he lines up the big sticks, he's put it through! That's the goal of the century!
That is unbelievable.
Couldn't believe that. Buzusto's obviously decided to win this game on his own. He's kicked 8 goals now for Perth. The goal that we were looking for to bring him within 2 points, or is it 3 points? Can Perth get the ball out of their forward line? 2 points the difference. Perth need a big knock out of the centre here, and all players running towards their goal to get the ball over the line.
3 minutes to go, 2 points the difference in the 1978 Premiership Final.
It couldn't be a draw, surely to goodness. 3 minutes to go in the final quarter, 2 points the difference, and oh, can Perth hang on? Off they go, kick it, will soccer it off the ground, and does. Look at the players lifting themselves. Of course, Curry goes in on the bottom of the pack, and umpire Capes to bounce, and the umpires have done a great job today. Bradley Smith trying to do it on his own. Look at the desperation on number 1's face, Brad Smith, as yet again the play bogs up. Nobody can clear it, and umpire Capes to do the honours once more.
Yes,
2 points the difference.
All the stars are in there. Bradley Smith with his experience. Cable, number 9, the ball beats him. Otway is good, but now Wiley's got a chance to really star and show his class. Wiley versus Otway, the 2 number 2s. Allen's in there too. But finally on the members' flank, with the sun shining, there'll be a throw-up, not a bounce down. Bradley Smith to Dickinson, gets his kick in, but there's Miller, the danger man. He's got his eyes on the ball, but so too is Cook, who's done nothing much today. This could be something good as Dowell versus Robertson. Off the chest, Robertson gets it to Farrant. Farrant having trouble in picking it up. Everyone's excited here at fever pitch as the minutes tick by. Still 2 points the difference. 2 minutes to go, 20 metres out from goal. Perth in attack.
Oh, big thump from Duke, straight back over the boundary line again. 79 plays 81. There can't be much time to go. 2 minutes according to the timekeeper. There's a throw in about 30 metres around from the Perth goal. Bad Smith thumping it out towards Buzusto, who's the hero. His kick is smothered off the boot. Oh, and it's out of bounds, another 5 or 6 metres closer to the menacing Perth goal. 12-7, 79 Perth. East Perth 11-15, 81. Ought to be a crying shame, says the East Perth supporters, if they lost it from here. Brad Smith up, down to Otway it comes. Phil Kelly will mark, and that could be the most telling mark of the game as Kelly has taken it on the right half-back flank.
He certainly has, and look at him say, come on fellas, give me some leads. Cable's coming over to tell him what to do. He chips down to the members' wing, where it's 4 Perth players opposed to Mick Ray. Finally out comes Clint Donald, long pass to oh, very good play, Wiley, to Bowyer, into centre-half forward position. It's all the Royals, and Bradley Smith marking right on his ensign at the true centre-half back position. All the logos for the various sides have been placed at centre-half forward, centre-half back today, and I don't know if that means anything, but Brad Smith marked that right on the Royals logo.
1 minute to go as the Bradley Smith kick comes out to right centre wing. Kelly's up, can't mark. Less than a minute to go now. Can Perth get back into this game as umpire Bucky is called upon to bounce about 5 metres on the attacking side of centre for Perth. There's the throw up. Up they go, thumped by Gibellini. Miller is there. So is McRae. He hand passes nowhere in particular, and you can't blame him. The crowd stand up. It's taken by number 11, Roberts. Roberts goes inboard to Fotheringham, who's right down from full-back. His kick is going into a nest of these Perth players, and it's been taken as the siren has gone. The siren has gone to end the 1978 grand final. Look at them. There's Barry Cable. East Perth the winners. The final score, East Perth 11-15-81 to Perth's 12-7-79. The most magnificent finish to a grand final you could possibly imagine. Comments from Graham Moss.
Well, fantastic football match, fantastic grand final. The conditions, the elements were dead against a great game of football, but the players, full credit to them, they fought it out right to the end. Perth didn't give in. Continued to press home towards the end when things were looking a little bit grim. East Perth refused to give in towards the final minutes of the game, and now we're seeing a fitting end to a great season by all teams, but East Perth have taken out the 1978 premiership. Congratulations to them, congratulations to the losers, Perth. They've done a fantastic job, but East Perth fully deserved their win. Congratulations.
So we repeat the score in this grand final of 1978, with the Royals going out and becoming the 78 premiers. A score of 11-15 to Perth's 12-7, a margin of 2 points. John Rogers, thanks for the commentary today. Graham Moss, tremendous comments.
Thanks, Arthur.
Well, we'll probably stay with it for a while as the delirious crowd gather underneath the members' grandstand for the presentation as they lift what as it looks like Big Brad Smith playing his last game, being lifted skywards.
Yes, well, Brad Smith, of course, has played 245 senior games, John, and only last week it was the second time that he'd been put on the bench. Well, he certainly, Cable blended him just at the right time, and there's Barry Cable. Well, everyone loves a hero, and Barry Cable is just that.
Oh, he looks very, very satisfied, does Barry Cable.
You know, the one thing about Cable, he's played 387 league games, and he always needs a challenge. Just winning couldn't be the challenge, so I'd like to bet that he plays next year so he notches 400 games.
Well, he well could. He's just about done everything he has to, Graham, to prove what a champion footballer he is, and I guess the 400-game mark would be a fitting milestone for him.
Well, I've spoken to him, and he says he's going to play 400 games. He'll be in his 38th year when he does play them, so it'll be a remarkable feat, but knowing Copes, he'll do it.
Oh, it's scenes of absolute deliria down there at the moment as their captain coach, Barry Cable, is cheered towards the members' grandstand, and I fear it's going to take a long while before they get up here, the East Perth side. Listen to the roar of the crowd as Barry Cable comes into view, and what a magnificent feeling it must be. Graham Moss, you said you've never experienced it, and gee, I bet you wish you have.
I wish I was right now, John.
Yeah, I'll bet you do. But you can't take anything away from East Perth. They had the job in front of them. Perth started red-hot favourites to win their third in a row. They didn't. East Perth have, and they're fitting champions for 1978. Final score again for you. East Perth, winners of the 1978 grand final, 11-15-81 to Perth's 12-7-79. Crowd are roaring because their heroes are up there on the balcony to receive the pennant, receive the cup, and receive the adulation of their fans. There's a shot of Ian Miller. Look at the cup being passed down the line.
Not to mention
Bruce Sinclair
there, the
he's there.
Fitness man.
Johnny Maguire handling it now.
And have a look
Steve
at Craig
Curtis.
Earnshaw.
Oh, unbelievable. Number 29, Paul Arnold, you saw him. Phil Kelly, he said he had something to prove in this grand final, and my word, with 4 goals, he certainly proved it. He's the 1978 champion, 1978 Sandover medalist, and he played like it today. Look at the crowd, they're going absolutely berserk. There's Paul Arnold. Steve Curtis, Brad Smith, who's probably played his last game of league football.
Yes, I'll say. I think he'll retire to his delicatessen shop in the Melville area. Hope he puts something into the underage players in that area. And look at them jumping around. John Hayes, he's already been in a premiership. He and Bradley Smith were in the 72 premiership that the Royals won. And he's hanging onto that cup as though to say, well, I think I'll be in another one. Ian Miller, a star today. He's looking very excited too. And look at the crowd in the background, still waiting around, still singing the Royals chant. And excitement is at fever pitch here at Subiaco Oval.